You know, is it just me, but we're focused so much on getting that $2 trillion back that companies hold abroad that we're not paying attention to what Ireland is doing right now that could have trillions more going back abroad. I'm talking specifically about a plan that Ireland has to halve its already very low 12.5% corporate tax rate. Now, it comes in many tiers, and there are details to this. Suffice to say, it'll be well into the single digits when our corporate tax rate is 35%. And I know my buddy Adam Lashinsky will point out very few companies pay at that 35%. He's right. So I'll knock it down to 25%. But I can do the math, Charles Payne, and say the Irish are offering Google and Yahoo and Apple and Dell and all these companies a much, much lower and attractive working environment. And they're going to seize on it.
They are stepping up to the plate. There's such a crowd trying to get in there. And this is really smart. Part of this is, surrounds intellectual property.
Right.
So 2 years ago, Gilead, an American company, decided to put one of their new drugs, domiciled in Ireland. Their cash in Ireland from $8 billion to $15 billion in 1 year. Imagine that kind of money not coming to this country because of their lower tax rates.
You know, Ben Stein, you got to wonder, too, because obviously it's getting the European continent worried. I mean, the French are concerned, the Italians are concerned. They're saying, hey, you're pricing us out of business here. The Irish aren't giving an inch. And I'm wondering, the irony would be here in this country, we get this $2 trillion back that's been held abroad, but trillions more leaves. What do you think?
Well, there's no clear evidence that having a lower corporate tax rate leads to economic growth or greater prosperity. It may be that we should have a uniform international corporate tax rate, but there's no clear evidence that this promotes prosperity. And the real rate that's important is the rate at which people are willing to work and sacrifice and start new businesses.
But Ben, you can't tell me that if you as a CEO,
with the income tax rate.
If you're a CEO of a company and you have a choice between domiciling in a place where the corporate tax rate is 35% or a place where it's 6%, where are you going to go?
I will go to the place where the tax rate is lower, but I am concerned about how many Americans these companies are going to hire, not concerned about what bank account their excess cash is in.
This will encourage, and that's my fear, Dagan, it will encourage these companies to hire more workers abroad because there's great financial incentive.
If the talent is there, and
we
that's
have
not
a labor
clear.
shortage here.
That is not clear that the talent is there. And I look at.
Wait a minute.
No,
are you saying to someone who's half Irish that the talent isn't in Ireland? Are you? Yes or no?
Yes, I am. The talent is in the United States, and this is corporate tax trickery, and they have had a history of it. They actually got rid of the double Irish.
Are they attracting that talent and money, or are they not?
Won't. You know what? If they were so great, this Celtic Tiger wouldn't have needed a bank bailout.
Well, guess what? They're storming back. All right, Charlie O'Gasparino, what do you think?
Yes, I have those on both sides of it.
They got a bailout from Europe.
Okay, here's the thing. The financial crisis in Ireland lasted a lot less than our financial crisis.
Because they got bailed out.
We got bailed out, too. No offense. But
not like they did.
You're a hater.
They
got any Irish blood in you?
The Fed printed trillions of dollars, so let's just back off.
We didn't have to go to Europe for the money. We did not have to go to Europe for the money.
We went to ourselves.
We pressed a button on a computer. That's what we did.
All right, so
number one,
what are you saying?
Very, very strong economy over there. Okay. And they have an educated workforce.
That's all I'm saying.
And that's all I'm saying.
I agree 1,000%. And listen, we are starting to build factories over there, our companies, and they are attracting talent. And by the way, they had a housing implosion. It wasn't because of the technology. Ireland is smart.
Yeah, we did do a little bit of overbuilding.
The banks all
you got us there.
Hey, I just wanted to point out, we do need to rationalize our tax code. We need to get rid of the loopholes and lower the rate. But I'm not going to promote tax trickery to lure.
God bless you. God bless you. But Adam, all I'm saying,
the whole tax code is trickery.
Yeah. Tell me.
What are you talking about?
Adam, all I'm saying, and I agree with Ben, that the lower taxes alone aren't the great elixir and savior. I am saying, though, that presented with that sort of a gaping divide, any company, any CEO worth his or her salt is going to check it out. And Google is checking it out. And Dell is checking it out. And now EMC is checking it out. These companies aren't idiots. Of course they're going to seize on that and try to make sure more of their operations are headquartered in a place that is friendlier to their capital.
Well, they should and they will, with the only proviso being...
Did you just say, as our resident leftist, that they should? Because Bernie Sanders right now is calling you. But go ahead.
I'm your resident capitalist and optimist, I like to remind you.
But you are not our resident capitalist, but I'll continue with this wee bit of a myth. Continue.
Okay. And they have a fiduciary duty to explore that. I just want to also remind you, Neil, that this is a country of 4.5 million people. So this discussion can only go so far. There's only so much Ireland can do for any of these countries.
Adam, let's
and
be
only
real
so
clear
much
about the record of Ireland.
We should pay attention to
Let's
them.
be real clear about the record of Ireland. Educated workforce. They had a financial crisis that they came out of a lot faster than us, and they have a decent economy.
They're not always perfect, as the late, great John Belushi would say, the potato famine. Is that luck? All right. When we come back, would you rather leave your own tip or pay more for your meal and not have to tip? We debate. You digest.